Welcome to ORPtv. I'm Craig Stegner. We're in the studio today, and I have a really special guest sitting in with me today from Monett Motor Speedway, the owner, Mr. Steve Andrews. Steve, how are you doing today?
Doing great. It was a late night last night, but I'm doing well this morning.
You had your big season banquet last night, right?
We did.
How did that go?
Went well. Went really well. We had a good turnout and a really great response.
That's awesome. Now, you had some pretty big news yesterday. You want to tell us about that news?
We did. So we announced our sanctioning last night, and we're proud to partner, very happy and excited to partner with NASCAR.
That's huge news.
Big news.
So your sanctioning that you used before had, all the different ones have different rules. Mm-hmm. So clearly this is going to bring some changes that will come about. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about some of the things that the drivers and maybe even the fans can expect to see differences?
Yeah, so let's talk about the classes and the rules. So our weekly classes are going to be B mods, and the rules are going to be a blend of the Power I and USRA rules. We've got the Midwest mods, and we're going to use the Power I rules. We've got the pure stocks, and last night at the banquet we announced that we were going to use the Salina High Banks rules. We got some feedback at the banquet last night. We're revisiting that. The last thing we want to do is run anybody off. We're not looking to alienate any drivers or any class. So we're going to review that today and make sure that we're aligned with the rules that the drivers are used to so that they can continue to come to the track. And then we've got the INX Legends, bringing those back again this year. And then the Bombers are also going to be sanctioned this year, NASCAR sanctioned.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool, yeah. And they'll have their own set of Monett rules. And then we're going to rotate the ULRA late models in weekly and the A mods in weekly. And those will be USRA as well.
This is a huge news for Monett, and really maybe brings the track back to the level that it has had. It's such a phenomenal track and so famous for being one of those staple tracks that people raced at. And I don't think I'm out of line to say over the last few years that place in the pecking order has kind of slid a little bit. Mm-hmm. This is quite likely, and rightfully so, going to bring Monett back up to the top of that list as a destination for racers and fans to get to.
That's what we're hoping. We're hoping this sets us apart from other tracks.
So, and when you say that about revisiting the rules, nothing was set in stone last night. No. This was kind of the thing here, but you're going to have some time to kind of tweak things a little bit. NASCAR's certainly been famous for tweaking things, which some people dislike, some people really like. It's glad when they see a problem, they don't say, well, we'll address that in 2 years. Yeah. They go, wait, we got to fix that now. Let's fix that. So kind of along that line, you're like, okay, we hear you. Yep. Let's take that in consideration. Yeah. We may make some changes.
Yeah, we had some really good dialogue with the drivers last night at the banquet, and I don't think my team completely understood the true ramifications and the differences between the Power I and the Salina High Banks rules. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're not looking to alienate anybody. We're looking to get as many drivers to the track as we can and make sure they've got a good experience. So we'll revisit today and make it right.
So that's really good news for them, for all the racers to know that. And you say you had a dialogue last night. You had somebody in from NASCAR? We
did. We had Kevin, and I'll be honest with you, his name is like 14 characters long and hard to pronounce. But Kevin he came in from Daytona and spoke at the banquet last night in support of the decision. And
he was impressed because he was saying that you told me earlier they don't usually have this kind of open dialogue. So I think he was a little surprised, but that's got to show some real credit to you all, and that you're wanting to say, hey, we want that feedback. It's not us deciding for you what's going on. We're saying, hey, this is we are going to do this. So that was kind of different, and really good for the drivers and for you and for the official there to come in and see, hey, this is how important this is to this track.
Yeah, and if you saw how we operated last year, the first year when I leased it last year, I tend to be pretty transparent. We solicit feedback. We can't make everybody happy, but for the most part, we try to do what's right, and that's kind of our guiding principle, is doing what's right.
That's the Democrat. That's the basis of our entire United States. It's like, okay, you're not going to make everybody happy, but we're going to try to do it the best way we think possible for as many people as we can. Yep. How do these rules work with NASCAR, the new setups and such?
So basically the rule classes, the rules for the specific classes that we're running are unique to Monett. So the rules basically are ours, which is really good because the more we can tweak them so that it encompasses more cars, that just helps our car count, right? Which is better for everybody.
So it's good that you have it. It's not the umbrella of the whole, everywhere you go, okay, we're that, but we still are maintaining our, almost like, in your house, we play cards. Yeah. Threes are wild, and that's not normal, but it's what works for us. And so that's that kind of thing. You say this is what Monett does, and they're giving you that kind of leeway to do that, right?
Right.
Okay, that's great news. Anything else on that?
The only other thing I would say is, we're the only track in Missouri. The closest track is Salina High Banks over in obviously Salina. We've tried to partner with them as much as we can so that the drivers have the opportunity to race at our track and their track for the races to count towards their points at the end of the year.
That'll be really good news for the racers that live in between that only had to go this way. They can go back and forth. And what kind of benefits is this to the drivers to have this NASCAR sanctioning coming to Monett?
Yeah, so let's walk through that because the benefits are pretty good. So for NASCAR has 4 divisions. They've got Division 1, which is basically the feature division, and they're the B mods. The division, and these classes are classes that we selected to be in these divisions. So the Division 1 for us is a B mod. It might be different at another track. So Division 2 is the Midwest mods, the Division 3 pure stocks, and then Division 4 the bombers. So the way their point structure is broken down, or their whole series is broken down, they've got national, regional, state, and then local points. So in addition to the points, I'll start out by saying their insurance program is phenomenal. So the drivers get $1,050,000 insurance.
Wow.
That's the same insurance that the drivers that are driving this afternoon in Atlanta, it's the same insurance they have.
That's incredible.
It's the same policy. So then you move into the national points, the national pot, basically. So as the Division 1, which again are the B mods, the national program, the payout's $25,000. So if you compete and you win as the national champion, it's a $25,000 purse. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they invite you to their banquet in Charlotte. They pay to fly you to the banquet in Charlotte. And it's a heck of an event.
So you'd be right there at the same event, Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson and all of those. That's
absolutely,
that's worth the price of admission right there.
So that's at the national level. So then you take it down one level and you've got the regional level, and we're in the Midwest. So we've got the Midwest region. There's 10 will be the 11th track included, and that point fund is $35,000 for those 11 tracks. And again, that's Division 1. The first place, $15,000. It's pretty impressive.
Yes.
So then you drop down to the state, of which we're the only track, right? So anything that's relative to the state comes right to us, and that in the Division 1 is it's a commemorative trophy, but it's also a fire suit. Which is not cheap.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got the fire suit.
So you're not having to, these racers aren't having to hit Kansas City, St. Louis, Monett, and do all that. Just by virtue of racing at Monett, you're in the running for the state championship. That's cool.
Yep, absolutely. So then, and this is the really cool part, the actual track point system and the purse for the points is $15,000. Wow. And that's across all 4 classes. So not just the B mods, not just the Midwest mods, but the pure stocks and the bombers. So the bombers actually have a points fund this year.
Wow!
Right.
There's a lot of money.
So NASCAR, so their points fund is $15,000. We went back and reviewed what we thought was the right points fund for the track for 2025, and we're going to contribute to that. and we're going to bump that up to $22,725.
Awesome.
So we went back through, we paid back in the 6th through 10th spots, the back of the field. We went in, we added money there that NASCAR doesn't include. So that covers the cost of the NASCAR membership for the drivers. So basically the top 10 drivers at our track, their membership's covered by us.
That's great.
Yeah. We added some money to the Midwest mods, and then we also, Legends, the INEX Legends, don't have a points fund. We added money there, so now they have a points fund as well. So all of our weekly classes will have a points fund at Monett Motor Speedway.
That is great news. Yeah. That's got to be exciting, and that's paying out a lot more drivers than were previously getting paid out,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think every week probably these racers could use a little extra money. And never is it, or do they go, what are we going to do with all this money?
Right.
There's always
something to buy, right?
Right,
something to buy.
Right.
So then NASCAR has one more little unique benefit, and that is they call it the Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
So if you think about it, if you're a driver and you've not ever raced at Salina and you're now racing with us for the first time, you're a NASCAR rookie. So literally almost all our drivers are going to qualify for this.
Wow.
So the the Division I National Fund is $2,000 and the Regional Points Fund is $4,500.
That's really cool. But maybe even better than that money will get used right away. But NASCAR Rookie of the Year is going to be forever.
Exactly.
That money will be spent on tires, fuel, something. But that's forever.
Yes.
You can't buy that. That is really cool.
So now, if you've done the math, right? So the National, the Regional, our points fund, the Rookie National, the Rookie Regional, that's a $46,000 purse.
Wow.
Opportunity.
That could be not life-changing your life at home directly, but racing career-wise, that's career-changing money, because that's gonna you may get that hauler you need or all kinds of stuff. That is really outstanding. These drivers must be thrilled with this.
The feedback was very positive. Now that doesn't include the fire suit.
Right.
That doesn't include the trip to Charlotte. The trip to Charlotte. So Mitch Keeter's been there. Right. He spoke last night for a minute and said it was an amazing experience.
That would cost you $50,000 just to go, just for you or I, just to go to it. So to get to go to it free and then have all of that is outstanding. Steve, tell us a little bit about the cost differences for the drivers, because that's what they're going to want to know. In addition to the rule changes and all, the old adverb is, if you ask enough why, it comes down to money. Yes. So they're going to say, okay, what's this going to cost me?
Yep. So there is a membership cost. So it's for the feature division, it's $200 if they enroll online. If they enroll via paper at the track, there's an additional $25, so it's $225. In all the other three divisions, the Charger divisions, it's $100, and again $125 at the track.
Okay.
Now, one interesting thing that NASCAR doesn't promote, and I'm probably not going to be too happy about me promoting it, but they've got a per event membership.
Okay.
And unlike some of the other sanctions, that per event membership, it's not temporary. That goes towards the cost of the annual membership. So once you hit 8 temporary memberships or per event memberships, it converts to a permanent membership.
But that's going to be really good for a racer. Maybe that's like, hey, I want to try this, but then I'm going to have this $200 on top of it. Go, well, let me try it.
Yes.
So that I mean, I think that's really interesting. So that, and then it's not just lost money. It's almost like your payment plan.
And like I said, NASCAR's not going to be happy about me promoting it as a payment plan, but that's basically
in the end, if it gets more people into it, that maybe if that was the one thing holding them back, and it gets them there and doing it, it's a positive thing.
Absolutely.
So, are there other costs involved in that maybe some of the rule changes or the NASCAR chart? Let me do that again. Maybe, is there anything else in there, or was that the whole thing? I don't want to ask you all that.
Yeah,
okay.
No, that's it.
Ask you all that and you go, no?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you don't want to lead down this whole big aisle to an empty room. Yeah. So, now one of the things that I'm curious about, because I'm not a racer, I'm a fan. So, if I'm watching this as a fan, and Monett has 50 plus years, there's people that are going to be watching this that are like, my parents took me, my grandparents took me, their grandparents took them. It's so long. What am I going to see different? This is all for the racers, but now as a fan, I come to Monett Motor Speedway this year. What kind of things might I see visually different, that kind of thing at Monett with this NASCAR?
So you're going to see NASCAR plastered everywhere. So last week we were down at the New Smyrna track down in Florida, and got to see all their branding and all the things that NASCAR does for the weekly series. And NASCAR it's plastered everywhere, from the trash cans to the signage. So you'll see a lot more NASCAR branding. And then, it's NASCAR, right? It's a weekly series. You never know who may pass through town and want to race. So
and pick up points.
You never know.
So some driver, whatever level, maybe somebody that we've seen maybe it's one of the local stars that we have, or maybe it's a national star, or maybe it's a superstar, and they've got a race this week, and they go, hey, I can drop in, I can pick up some points, maybe go in and race. And the visual aspect of it, it's going to look like a NASCAR track. And I think the photo opportunities, getting your picture taken in front of NASCAR signage and merch is probably there. I'm sure that there will be some of that kind of stuff that maybe we haven't had access to without going a long way. So just the visual aspects of it, the great Monett Motor Speedway and NASCAR, I don't see how this isn't just a huge hit.
Yep, we're hoping so. And yes, it's exactly right. Like, where can you go here locally and get your picture taken at a NASCAR track?
You're going to go at least Kansas City, St. Louis, out someplace.
Exactly.
And it's right here, and already you want to get your picture taken in front of the Monett stuff because of the history of it.
Exactly.
This is just icing on top of the cake, I think.
Yep, that's what we're hoping.
So now that we know this was the big news, the curtain's been pulled back, we see the big exciting news, now I'm amped. When do I get to see the first race? When does the season start at Monett?
So we moved to Fridays, right? So nobody has to get up for school on Monday mornings when we were racing Sunday nights. Nobody has to get up and go to work now. So we're Friday nights.
Great.
Our first race is April 4th.
April 4th, okay.
April 4th, so come on out.
So we're just about 6 weeks out.
It's coming up really quick.
So there's going to be a lot of remodeling and stuff coming in. There's going to be a lot of activity to be seen at Monett Motor Speedway.
A lot going on right now as we speak.
I bet. You won't be sleeping in so much, but I think that's a great move to Friday night. I think that the Sunday nights definitely set you apart in that there wasn't a lot of competition, because that's a rough night to try to get up and go to work the next day and your kids and stuff. So I think that's a great move to go to Friday night. So we'll be promoting it here. We'll be telling you all about the races, the results, and this connection now with you. I really am excited about, and hopefully we can, ORPtv can get down and maybe do some remotes there and do some interviews and show you some of the things. Because the season's long, so don't feel like that if you aren't there for that first April race, it's the Ozarks. We're gonna have some rain. We're gonna have some cold weather. I never count out snow until the fireworks hit. I never count out snow in the Ozarks. So we'll get down there, take lots of pictures and videos, and show you for the ones who haven't made down, and then go, oh yeah, I definitely have to be there, part of that. So we're really looking forward to it, and I'm super excited for you. This is great news for Monett, the town, and race fans all here. So
we're super excited as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. I look forward to the season. I can't wait to see what kind of the attendance, the racers, special guests, quite possibly.
You never know.
It's going to be super exciting. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and good luck, and we'll see you at the track.
Yep, appreciate it. Thanks.